We're live. Whew. Do you have your papers? Do you have your papers? Can I have them? The motivation stuff? No. I have a timer on my phone. Yeah. If you, when you're up there, I can put it there so you can see it.
No, that gave me more pressure.
I kind of left the article at home, but I have it.
You can bring it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
You got this.
Whenever you're ready.
Hello, welcome to my POL. I'm just going to be talking about what I did this semester in projects. Oh, next slide again. So the beginning of this year for Spanish, I didn't really know much, and I forgot like some of the Spanish that I already knew. But I feel like it was good that going to like Spanish this year made me remember what I knew like as a kid and stuff. And this is just little warm ups that we would do in the morning that really helped me understand what I did before. And I kind of struggled a lot because like we're older, and she even told us that it's like hard for people like our age to learn like a new language. Like you have to learn it when you're a kid, really. So yeah, it's like these are the 3 P's of culture. The first one is product, and one of the products I made was a nichos for our first exhibition that we did. It was a group project, but this is just the part that I did. And the practice is my cousins speak like a lot of Spanish, so they're always talking to me in Spanish, and usually I was just like, I don't really know what they're saying. And since I've like been learning more Spanish, I can kind of understand what they're saying more, so it's not as like awkward anymore when they try to talk to me. And for perspective, it changed because I have a lot of family members that just speak Spanish, so I feel like it was better for me now that I can actually understand kind of what they're saying, and I'm not just staring at them. But I think this Danny has helped me a lot with understanding Spanish now. These are some simple sentences that we learned, and the simple sentences help us like a lot because they're like obviously simple and they're simple and easy, so it's like an easy way to get started on how to learn Spanish basically. And these are just the translations for like the little words that we're learning right now. And I honestly like I had a lot of trouble starting with the simple sentences because it was a lot of the same words that like meant different things. I don't really know how to explain that really, but it has it on my notebook. In the beginning of this year, I was really lost in math because I threw away my notebook from freshman year, and it had a lot of the math that we're doing now. And I think it would have helped me a lot if I kept it, and so you could see like those grades are like really bad. And I feel like even though Mr. Lou is kind of like a strict teacher, I feel like when I actually asked for help, he was like pretty okay at explaining it. So I thought I was making progress. And you can see some like they're not super recent, but they're kind of recent. But there's better grades right there in the science I'm getting. And I feel like I'm growing in math more because before it would just stay like this, and I wouldn't really go anywhere other than like a C, really in that class. But I think now I'm starting to get more confident in math, and I'm glad because math it's not my strongest subject. So here's some things I'm proud of in math. I really got trigonometry really easy, and even though like I missed the first lesson that we did, I understood it pretty quick. And there's like a test in the middle, you can't really see it, but it was I kind of forgot what math topic it was, but I didn't really understand it that well. But in that test, I got like a 3.5 out of 4, so I was pretty glad that I basically understood it without knowing how to do it 100%. So that was pretty shocking to me because I usually turn my tests like blank because I didn't know how to do them. And recently I've been doing them and getting like a 3 or more on them. So I think that my math is getting better and it makes me like happy with myself. Wait, can I do like 20 real quick?
Yeah. Wait, you want this slide up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Wait, Tiffany, can you erase that cat that is up there and then bring the board over to the middle? Okay, that's fine.
So basically, these are like just some random numbers that I put. But first, you want to like obviously find your angle. And you want to find your hypotenuse, adjacent or opposite. So right here, it would be adjacent right here because it's closest to your angle, and this would be opposite because it's farthest away from your degree, and that would be hypotenuse. But remember this. And for this one, you use 10 because, oh, wait, let me label them. So right here we use 10 because you have O and A, right? And so you do 10. And so for 1045, I got 1. And you write the same thing down here. And since the x is on top, you multiply by 20 on each side. But these like cancel out already. So it'll be like 2021 instead. Yeah, just one. So that's your final answer, basically how I do this. So that was the first one. So that was the math I understood pretty quick in Mr. Moves, and I usually don't understand math that quick, so I'm glad that I understood that pretty quick, and it wasn't really challenging for me. So the external or internal motivation, external is like, it's when you're motivated to do something without like really like wanting something in return. And the internal is when you expect something out of it. Oh wait. Oh, sorry. And so my motivation for school is like I always feel a challenge. I try to put that in my work. I try to get dedication too. And I know this whole topic is on motivation, but I feel like I need my own motivation other than just like my parents and my teachers. And I feel like if I don't have motivation to do my work, I kind of have, I don't really do everything 100%. And I feel like my balance of the two is not really like good because I always want something in return. Like, because how I think is like, I just did this assignment and like I expect to be great out of it. And also because like I don't want to get in trouble. Like I don't really do it just because like I want to. I do it because like I need something in return since I just did this. Next slide. My creative piece was my poem because I never really thought about like, because I play softball and I never really thought about the sport, and I had trouble on writing this poem a lot because one, I didn't have a topic, and since like I just show something I do a lot, I didn't know how much into detail I can get with it. So I thought like this shows like my creative side of me because like it's like kind of a long poem. So I thought it was surprising how much detail I could put it into just like a short little. I guess I can call it like a short story or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next slide. Independent reading. This book I read was Hatchet, and it's basically about like a kid who got stranded on an island from a plane crash, and he was stuck in the wilderness on an island, and his only tool was like a hatchet, and I thought it was pretty cool because he survived for like I think I don't really remember, but I know it was like longer than like 2 weeks that he was stranded on the island, and I thought just having like a hatchet as a weapon was just like. That's like crazy. And I would recommend this to high school students that like adventures because it wasn't just like it wasn't the same every day. Like something was new every single day when he was on the island. And I really liked this book because it was super detailed, so I felt like I could really see what was happening when I was reading. So something that I'm proud of was my French Revolution essay because I didn't really know much of the topic and I know we were like learning about it for a while, and nothing really like stood out to me until I wrote this essay. And I didn't know much about it, so I was surprised I could write all of this, and I got a lot of help from you because you're helping me really with it and really made me understand like how it was like back then to how it was now. And I think it was cool, like even though we already learned it, like I wouldn't mind learning more about it. And I'm glad like I was able to write all this even though I wasn't really educated on it. What contributed for exhibition was the letter below assignment, and don't mind that there's like stuff that was melted on it, but I think it was pretty cool because in the LED light that Mr. Wyatt had, it was like super bright on the inside, so I thought it fit well with the project. And I had like past projects that I was gonna do for this, but they took like way more like materials and they weren't as good if I'm being honest, and they kind of got lost also. But I was glad that I could put this together in a couple of days because my exhibition's like a really big project. But yeah. My favorite project was the one that I did for exhibition because it didn't take a lot of time to do it for it to not look that bad. And I got a pretty good grade on it. And I was proud that I was like able to actually make something in this class because I usually just like sit there and mess around. And I kind of put like, it doesn't look like a lot of effort, but I put effort into that painting. And I was just glad that I was able to fit into the exhibition when I like did it like last minute. In the beginning, I didn't know how to do resin, and I did this project with Lily because me and her didn't really know how to do anything, and he could see that we were struggling, so he introduced us to doing resin. And it's basically like you can put like anything you want in it, and it turns into like this like, I don't even know how to explain, like this like plastic, like clear plastic or something. And me and Lily made like a couple of projects with them, and I'm glad like this project wasn't like stressful, and it came out like pretty cool if you knew how to do it. And I'm glad Mr. Wyatt showed us this because it was kind of fun to make too. I would like to thank Lily because she's like kind of my motivation to come to school because she's in my class, and Mr. Wyatt because he's cool and he's like I feel like he's like he doesn't seem like he's like there for us because he always jokes around, but I like Mr. Wyatt, he's cool.
Angel?
And Angel because because Angel is just like there and it's funny and like out of pocket.
Mhm.
And then you, because you always put up with us, even though like we feel bad because we're like bad in your class, but like we're thankful for you.
Audience questions.
I want to
Okay.
tell us about your level of participation in class. When were you proud of your participation in class?
If I'm being honest, not really, because in Miss Danny's, like your whole, like a lot of your grade is like participation. And like I participated a lot in the beginning, but then I started like not because I didn't really know anything or I just didn't want to say anything because I thought I was wrong. And in here, like it was okay. Like I guess I would like participate in the conversations a little bit, but I think I could do better for next semester.
Good question.
How have you been creative this semester, and how do you express it?
I feel like I've been kind of creative with my writing because I'm not like a really good writer, but I feel like when I did, I met the expectations. And when I actually tried and like Miss Danny and Mr. White, I felt like I could actually put something together and not really like put no effort into it.
I like how you showed your math grade and how it improved. What do you think happened? Why did it improve? Or what got better?
Why did it improve?
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like I started putting more effort into my work and actually going to tutoring.
Okay.
And yeah, I just didn't really try before. I would just like do the work and not do it right, I guess. Just in terms of doing.
Okay. So you put in more effort, and what does effort look like?
I feel like effort looks like trying, asking questions, and like actually putting into the work to get a good grade.
Okay, cool. Can you identify someone who has helped you this semester with an assignment or a project that is not a teacher?
Lily, actually. Like,
Okay.
I know you don't think
With
so.
which one?
With the POL and
Okay.
also, she's in my Spanish class, so she helped me a lot with the assignments because she knows a little more, and so I'm like grateful that like she would help me understand the work.
And then I was going to ask you, how did you prepare for this presentation?
I mean, I just like followed the slides, but like, wait, what do you mean? I mean, like,
How did you prepare? Did you practice? Did you?
I kind of really only had time to write everything out.
Okay.
I didn't have really time to practice, so I kept like stopping and stuff. Yeah.
And then my last question is, do you think you passed with this presentation?
No,
Why?
because I feel like I kept like stopping and my answers, like my description were very long.
Okay. What do you think you did well in this presentation?
I don't really know because I don't know what you consider like good.
It's not what I consider good. What do you think you did well?
Keeping it like kind of organized, I guess.
Okay. What else?
I feel like explaining my math topic was like kind of like the best one.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I mean, trying to find pictures for all the assignments, even though like I couldn't really find them.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing that you did well on this presentation.
I don't know. I like.
How did you come up with the answers to your questions? Do you think your answers were good?
I thought they were like okay. I think I could have picked better questions. I mean, better answers.
Okay. Okay. I asked you that because yes, you passed, and I thought you did well. I knew you were nervous for it. I mean, you paused in between certain things when you lost your train of thought, but that doesn't mean you don't pass the POL. I am mostly looking for, did you understand what the question was asking, and did you come up with good proof? And you did. Like, I like that you explained the 3 Ps and gave personal examples of each of them, not just talk about them. Simple sentences are there. Your math, I thought it was nice to highlight this change that happened and the fact that you liked learning about trigonometry. I thought for the humanities part, you messed up the motivation, you mixed them up, but that's
know.
okay. I can still tell.
I forgot.
I can still tell you
Sorry.
knew what they meant,
Yeah.
even though you just messed it up in your explanation. That's fine. This is a great poem. I took some extra time to read through it because it's really, really good. I appreciate your explanation of this book. I do wish you were a little more focused during reading time, but I can tell that you got through some stuff, and I'm glad you read it. I'm glad you highlighted this because this was really nice to see when you put in a little bit more effort or came to me for help. Mostly, I think was the main thing, and I hope that you do that with all of your teachers, and then you can see like you're capable of writing this really, really good essay. And then art, yeah, it's cool to see what you've been creating in art. So overall, the reason I grilled you on what you did well is because I think you should be a little bit more positive about what you're doing. Um, I know you get nervous for stuff, but it's not like you're not a bad student or the things you make aren't bad or things like that. You passed your POL, you did a good job, and I'm looking forward to next semester. Okay. All right. Alrighty. I think we're on break now.
Yeah, it
You got this.
All right.
does.
Give me a second. Do you have your papers? Your articles?
Oh yeah. You want to take them out now?
Yes. I should make POLs next semester have some sort of like performance, like you had a dance or something.
We should all choreograph
So that it's like so it's fun. Oh, a choreographed dance
Mr.
with
Macrae.
your group of
You
people.
want peppermint candy?
No, I'm good, thank you.
These are really good.
No,
You should have had
but like the group watching you.
They're organic all the way.
I'll take one.
See, my mom gets me organic stuff. Organic candy.
Got the,
Wait. Sheer will. Okay. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hello and welcome to my POL. So today I'll be sharing with you guys what I've learned in this semester in all my classes. So first I'd like to talk about humanities. So recently I read a few articles on intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And basically what that is, intrinsic motivation, it could be like you're motivated to do something purely out of passion, like purely because you're just like you have fun or just enjoy doing it. And extrinsic motivation is like maybe someone motivated you to do something with like words of encouragement, or it could be that there's a reward that's like motivating you to get it. So say like you're proposed money to like work a job, but maybe it's something that like you really dislike, but you're doing it like purely for the money. That would be extrinsic motivation.
Just leave it. It's too loud.
And then my extrinsic motivation personally comes from passion, competition, and curiosity, or just like wanting to learn something new. And then whenever I use extrinsic motivation to help me with school, it helps me, or usually I do well in whatever it is I'm working on. And if you want to apply intrinsic motivation in school, usually what you do is you have to want like you have to have a certain goal. And whether it's like you want to put a lot of effort in a project, and so after you're done, you have like a final product that you're proud of and feel confident about. Or it could be that you want to put a lot of effort in because you want to set yourself up for a better future someday. And we go back.
Oh, go back.
Yeah, right now in terms of like balance between the two, I feel good because like most of my motivation is intrinsic. And then I made a creative piece for my creative piece on intrinsic motivation. I made like a sketch, and then on the left side, I drew a representation for passion and competition. It's me playing basketball, and then I made it like showed it that it's like for passion. And then for curiosity, I put like thinking of like different ways to like learn new skills or just like improve overall. And for my second topic, independent reading book. This semester I've been reading a book called Children of Blood and Bone. It's a fantasy adventure book. It's about how magic was believed to have been like extinct or wiped out because everybody who knew magic was killed. But then something happened and causes magic to come back. And from what I've read so far, the scene that stood out to me the most was when the main character's village got burned down because it's been like the lowest point of the book so far. And I'm interested to see in how they're gonna come back from having the village burned down. And overall, I would recommend this book because, or especially if you're into fantasy or adventure, but if not, I'll still give it a try because you might like it. And something I've learned from reading so far this semester was getting better at taking in information, like about the characters in the story. Because before I wouldn't really pay attention to what was going on, and then when it was like time to like summarize it, I wouldn't really know. But since we've been doing reading logs, I've had to really pay attention on what goes on and like know what I'm reading. And for my third topic, I want to highlight a piece of work I've worked on in humanities. And I chose my epistolary poem, which is a poem like a regular poem, but it's directed towards something. It can be anything. And I chose my poem because it was heavily inspired by my family, and I chose because it's something I put effort into. And I feel like it turned out pretty well. And I'm proud of this poem because I never really had any experience with writing any. So I got to learn more about poems overall, and I thought it was cool to learn about different rhyme schemes that were used for different poems. Like an example was like A, B, A, B. I think there was like A, B, C, B. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also just got to learn what an epistolary poem was. And now for math, I'd just like to give a reflection of my semester. So in the beginning, I was feeling alright about math, but I'd forgotten what I learned last year, so it was confusing. Because when we started learning about triangles again, like we already learned about it last year, but I forgot like a lot of deep stuff about it. But now I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm starting to understand the concepts more each day. And something I'm proud of this semester was the triangle head project, which was like a project where we drew like 8 different triangle characters. And then the math that was used in this was just figuring out the sides and then the angles inside the triangles. And I really liked this project because it was kind of fun, like designing the characters and just giving them descriptions and stories. And I'd also like to share with you guys a concept that I learned in math. So it's finding or how to prove two similar triangles. So here it's a problem that I had in my test. So basically what you do, first you find 2 angles that are congruent or the same. And I found that B and D were the same. And then I found that the sides FD and DC were similar, and also ABDE. And then once I had this, I put them like over each other and then like found the ratios of each triangle, and I got 1/3. And since they were both the same, it proved that they were similar. And they were similar because of side, angle, side. And for art, this year at the Winter Market exhibition, I worked on something called Lego City. And we had like lights around it, so it doesn't look too bad actually. What I specifically contributed to was like this house and the car. And for my favorite project in art, I made like a bracelet out of wooden beads. And this project was cool because, well, not only did I put like a lot of effort into it, like I think it turned out pretty well. I'm just making it out of like squares and then turning them into beads. And something I learned in art this semester, I learned how to solder. Last year we already soldered a little bit, but I didn't really get like the technique down. And this year I feel like I've gotten like a lot better. I was able to solder this ring made out of copper.
Cool.
And for Spanish, I had to answer some POL questions, and they're written in Spanish, but I'll translate it for you guys. The first one said, describe your experience in Spanish this semester. So my experience has been good. Some days it seems easy to me, but some days it's difficult. The reason it's easy to me some days is because sometimes we just have one assignment and then we're done for the day. But sometimes it's difficult because we have to, or because of the test and the projects.
Leo, do this one in Spanish. Even if I don't understand. Yeah, just say it in Spanish.
Mi experiencia en la clase de español ha estado bien. Algunos días se me hace difícil, pero otros días se me hace, algunos días se me hace fácil, pero otros días se me hace difícil. Se me hace fácil porque a veces solo hacemos una tarea en clase y ya terminamos por el día. Y se me hace difícil por los exámenes y a veces los proyectos también. And then here I have like a picture of like one assignment that we did where we just like read an article and answered questions. I feel like this day was pretty good. And then for the second one, what are you most proud of? Wait, do you want me to say it in English and Spanish?
Say it in, like, present as if you're presenting in Spanish, and then give me a quick rundown afterwards.
So, estoy orgulloso de algunos exámenes que ha hecho porque saqué buenas calificaciones. También estoy un poquito orgulloso de mi alebrije porque no tenía 0 experiencia con papel maché y salió mejor de lo que esperaba. Pero todavía siento que podría haber hecho mejor. El próximo semestre espero estar más orgulloso de mis trabajos que hago en la escuela porque siento que no había mucho que me hizo orgulloso hacer todas esas dos cosas. So basically I said that I was proud of my alebrije and then some tests that I did because I got good scores on them. But I also said that I feel like next semester I hope there's more like projects that I'm proud of because other than these 2 things, that was pretty much it for Spanish. And then last one, alebrije, it's like a dog, bird, and a snake. So if you don't know what an alebrije is, it's like a spirit animal, basically, that helps guide like dead people. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
All right, questions from the audience?
How about your academic results this semester, and are you proud of it?
Overall, I think I did pretty good academically, and I mean, some work I felt proud of, but there was others where I felt like I could have done better.
Can you talk about a specific assignment you feel like you could have done better or project?
The everything.
And how?
Because I kind of rushed through it.
What led you to rushing through it?
Mainly just like not doing it, like just like waiting instead of just starting it right away. Because at first I had no idea what to do. Like I didn't know how to use like paper mache or anything.
Mhm.
I don't know how to start.
Do you feel like group work or individual work is easier / better for you?
Well, individual, it can be a lot easier because you only got to worry about yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But group work, it can also be like the most efficient way because if you have like everybody working on, like if you organize everybody to work on a certain thing, like
Mm-hmm.
you can get work done easily.
How did you feel like your board game group went?
Honestly, I think the game overall
Mhm.
was like actually good, like the like gameplay wise,
Mhm.
and then like design wise, I feel like we could work on it.
Okay. If you could go back in time and change things or approach things differently, what would you do for that project specifically?
I communicate with my group more, like
Okay.
communicate where I'm working on, what they should work on.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you attempted to do as the project went on?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Did you find success with it at all?
Yeah, it would work, but then I have to remind them.
Right.
You know.
I think that was an interesting project to watch you guys work on. Do you feel like you are a leader or can take leadership positions in group work?
Well, during that project, I kind of did have to take leadership.
Mhm.
I had to like come up with different roles of like
Mhm.
have someone draw the board game and then like, work on the rules and questions, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've done in the past with other groups?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you enjoy learning about? Like, what sparks your interest? Because you said you're mostly intrinsically motivated. Does that have to do with the things that you're learning about, or just feeling accomplished by completing things?
Yeah, feeling accomplished.
Okay.
But also like my intrinsic motivation. It's also like learning new skills. Like I just feel like it's fun to learn new things.
Like soldering?
Yeah.
Cool. Going back to what do you enjoy learning about? What do you enjoy learning about? Is there a class that sticks out to you or a topic that sticks out to you?
Probably the class that sticks out to me the most in learning is like art class.
Mhm.
I also learned like different things. Like we made bracelets. We worked a lot with like saws and
Mhm.
like things that I don't usually do.
Like hands-on stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And if there's no other questions, good job, Leo. I would say you passed your presentation. My feedback for you is I was kind of pushing you a little bit because I did see you. I don't know if you meant to take the leadership role in your group for the board game project, but then it became apparent that you should become the leader of that group and help delegate work and things like that. So I thought that was cool. And I don't know what your experience has been in groups in the past, but I do want you to keep doing that sort of thing as things move forward. Because every time I would check with you, like you clearly understood what was happening, what was expected of you, what kind of questions to make, that sort of thing, what still needed to get done. So you have like this vision and understanding of what needs to get done in bigger projects. I think you can share that with people. And then lastly, I'm happy about the slide where you shared out your independent reading book and learning hopefully like some tools of how to pay more attention to things that you're reading or understand it better when you're reading it. And I'm glad that you found the reading log helpful, or if anything, just like pushed you to pay more attention, because that's the same thing that we're going to be doing when we read the book together in class. We're going to be reading it together, but then also filling out a reading log. So hopefully that will be be good for you and everyone else. But good job, you passed. Yeah. All right. Here you go, Leo.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Eris, should we wait? Is there anyone coming? I thought you said your parents were coming.
Oh, no, because then I realized
Are they coming?
Alright.
Okay, because if not, I'm just gonna have you go right now.
Yeah.
And if they get mad at me for missing it, then I'm gonna tell them you told me to go. Okay. Really good.
I know,
Thank
they're
you.
good. You're welcome.
It's dark chocolate.
I know, that's what I said. It was dark chocolate and organic. That's why I shared. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Hey, Aries, what's up? You good? Nice. Let's go. I know you. Let's get it. You got this, girl.
It's almost back.
I get picked up at 12.
Okay. Yeah.
I would have it. Mr. McCoy, can you put up the page for me?
Just use the red one. Bro, where did it go? Eric.
No, bro, you turn around.
that's gonna run out.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this with everyone. Danny, you wanted to see because she wants
Oh,
to.
you can go get
Danny
it.
wants to come in mine. So, let's see. I'll be back.
Oh, there's
Eric, where's my phone? Yellow case, yellow case. The case doesn't even look like a spot right There's go.
Oh wait, I kind of use my phone for a calculator. We can place it like right here. Mine's the purple one. Yeah.
You want to film Eris?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, she doesn't.
That is so embarrassing.
Like a proud mom. You're doing.
So embarrassing.
You're doing
Wait,
great,
please
sweet.
stand on, like, the side.
No.
Yes, I can see yours.
Three, two, go. Wait, let me make sure the sound's on. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Okay, so hi, I'm Eris. Welcome to my winter POL. Yeah. So today I'm going to be going over math, and humanities, and art and Spanish, and I'm going to be going over mostly like evaluations, some articles, and just other things I'm proud of. So let's start with math. Okay, so at the beginning of the semester, I was really nervous with my learning. Like, I always kind of bad at math. I never really like got it too much. I was way better at the reading and writing thing. And with the way lessons were being taught, I wasn't really good at it. It was just like we were just getting homework and it wasn't really too much of a lesson. And I wasn't doing well in the quizzes. And here's the first homework packet I ever got. I got 10 out of 10, but that's because like Giselle helped me with most of it. And then the first quiz I took, I got 2.33, which like doesn't like make too much sense, but like, yeah. Anyway, then compared to now, I'm much better at understanding the math that we're given and with the way it's taught. And this is the most recent homework packet. I got 6 out of 6, and I got 4 out of 4 on my test. And some work I want to highlight is my first A+ on a test and my first math project. And I was kind of the first A+ because like I've been at high tech my whole life, so I don't take too many tests. So it's always been kind of hard to take tests. So when I got my first A+ on the test that we get weekly, it was cool. And it was because I really understood that topic. I like learning it. And I was also proud of this poster I made about Bill Levine and Teslas. It was the first thing we did in math. And I just thought it was a cool thing to draw. It was fun. So. Now I'm going to teach you how to find missing sides. Okay. Okay. So this side is going to be 8, and this side is 10, right? And we're going to find both angles and the thing right here. So to find the first angle, we're, right? So this, because it's here, that's going to make this our opposite, and that's our adjacent, and this is our hypotenuse. So because the numbers we have 10, -1 of. So yeah, it's just 8 over 10, which then gives us tan -1 of 0.8. And then you saw that, and I don't remember exactly what number you get, but it's 38 something. Yeah, it's 38.65, right? So now that we have this number, we're going to take 90 because that's a triangle, and subtract 38. And you get 51.35. So now this angle goes here, and that angle goes there, right? So now find this one. Find the number that goes here, right? We're going to do a squared, b squared, all that jazz. So we're doing 10 squared plus a squared equals c squared. That's 100. 4 equals c squared. And that 5 is 164 equals, right? Once you get rid of the squares, we're going to square root both sides. And you get 12.8. That's how you did it, pretty much.
Cool.
Next slide. Okay, so the next thing we're going to move on to is humanities. Okay, so also the second video doesn't work. It's gonna look like it works, but it doesn't. Okay. So in humanities, we went over 2 articles about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation is like motivation that comes from like yourself, like you're doing it just for you. And extrinsic motivation is you're doing this to get something in return.
And I would say that my intrinsic motivation just kind of comes from being curious. I like school, I like learning. And like, yeah, grades kind of play into it, but I also just kind of like the curriculum that's on here. And I would say that I have a good balance with intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. In the video, Giselle and I talk more about it. Yeah.
For humanities, we had to read 2 articles that taught us about extrinsic and intrinsic motivation.
Okay, so extrinsic motivation is when you do something with like the thought back. Okay, with the thought of like expecting a reward or like something in return for it. So like if you do like something for school, you expect good grades or like a present, like something like that.
And intrinsic motivation is when you do it just for yourself. Say like you're not doing the homework for a good grade, you're doing it because you're genuinely interested in what you do.
So I personally have like, I feel like an imbalance. I have more intrinsic motivation, so I do stuff more for school. Like I hope I get a good grade, but then I do have intrinsic where I think I want to do this for me, so I feel like smart and self-made, and like I worked hard. But then at the same time, I'm always thinking of like, am I gonna get a grade? Am I gonna get a good college? So a little bit of intrinsic motivation.
I would like to think that I'm intrinsic with my motivation, you know, because all the stuff we do in humanities, I am genuinely interested in. But then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I really want to do this well, and I don't want to write this well for a good grade. Most of the time, I am genuinely interested in the topic. I would say the thing that currently motivates me to come to school and do well is my parents, and also just wanting to do well just for myself, because all my siblings did really well in school, and I would like to do well also. And my parents always told me, sorry, my parents always told me to try my best, and I really do think that I do.
For me, what motivates me to come to school is like okay, like certain things in humanities are interesting, so I do want to like know about that. And then also just I really think about grades, and I don't like to like make up stuff because I feel like my grades are gonna go down. So I do it for like grades, just so I can feel like smart, like I know things. Like I don't know, because I feel like it's like a good thing when you go in the real world and you're educated because you actually paid attention in school. Like that feels great. Yeah, and just being like social and seeing people.
I personally think that these concepts are related to school because I'd say extrinsic motivation has a lot to do with stuff like grades, wanting to be perceived well by your teachers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it also includes the school because it shows how much like a student puts in like the effort. If someone like really hates the subject, sometimes like they don't always do well because they don't have that much intrinsic motivation. They don't really care about the grade, so it's like their project won't really be that well. But the more people have their projects up, like the better performance like they'll make in my opinion. So it shows like your effort and your motivation.
Okay.
Okay.
My 3 extrinsic motivators are probably good grades, my family, and wanting.
Yeah, so it cuts off. Because
What's the
the
last
video was too long,
Mhm.
so we had to split it into 2 pieces, and then the second half, like I don't know, quarters.
My opinion. So it shows like your effort
Oh.
and your motivation.
It didn't work on my computer.
Okay.
My 3 extrinsic motivators are probably good grades, my family, and wanting to be perceived well by teachers. I say good grades because I do want to do well. If I could get a 4.0 every year, that would be amazing. Yeah. And my family, just because they do motivate me to try my best. And my teachers, because I don't want to be looked at as a student that like doesn't do anything. Yeah.
My 3 motivations are also for grades, to have a good GPA for good college, and for like my parents. And also just like I think with other people, like it's like when kind of cool, you're like, let me see your grade, and it's like all A's.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's like
It's like a flex.
yeah, it's like I'm good. Okay. So yeah, it's like for college, like for me to feel good, and also just for my parents, because my like, it's like happy wife, happy life, happy grades, like happy family. I don't know. Yeah.
My 3 intrinsic motivators are probably my just curiosity, wanting to do well just for myself, and just school in general. I do enjoy school and I like learning. I'm very curious about other topics. And I think it's good when I get a test back and it says A+ on it. Like I feel good about myself and I know that I did well. Which I guess you could say is like, oh, that's an extrinsic motivator because you know I saw the A+ and felt good. But even if I got, I don't know, a D, I would feel good about it, you know?
Yeah.
Just because I learned something.
Yeah. I think that too. I want to go to like, I don't know. I just like, I want to go places and like know about it. Rather than some like, even if it's some like plant, I'm like, oh, I learned about that in science. Like, I'll know about it. Like English, I'll know like the correct terms to use. Just so like.
Is there any part you specifically want us to watch? Or
No,
can
that's why I said we don't have to watch this part.
Okay.
It's a 3-minute video.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Gotcha.
stop
Thank you.
it. Oh, you can go next one.
So for you,
Okay, so we also read books this year, and one book I am reading is Children of the Blood and Bone, and it's a kind of a book about like fantasy. It's like all to me it was kind of like Avatar, but like with black people, and I thought that was dope. And it's like magic is extinct, but this girl tries to like bring it back. She does this whole like adventure for it. It's really good. And in class, we kept progress of the books with reading logs. And something that stood out to me in the book was the characters' names and the imagery. And I said the characters' names because like I still don't know how to say them all the way. Like the brother's name is like I say Tazan, but it's Tzain, and I've never seen something spelled like that before. So yeah, stuff like that. And I think the imagery was really good too. Like Leo, you read this book too, so I'm not gonna say anything. Let's just say like there's one part and it's like wow, like this is really good. Like the way she wrote it was just nice. Like, yeah, and I would recommend this book to other students because the plot is interesting and just the character development is really good. And then my favorite piece of work this year so far has been the World War II board game. So my group and I made this board game about World War II and Anne Frank, and we presented it at the Winter Exhibition. And I'm proud of it because it was really different from our first idea, I guess. We were going for like a card game, and then we went for a Monopoly type of setup. And then that didn't work because we all forgot how to play Monopoly. So we changed it to this, and I think this was probably the best. We had a lot of just like extra little things we added in the game, and the characters were really cool. And the whole project included the board game, the pieces, and an essay on the topic, which I think we all did pretty well. Next, I'll move on to parts. So my exhibition project this year was this crochet beanie, and I strung lights through it, and I made the beanie myself too. And that
Is it the one that Mr. White wore on the thing? Nice.
And then Leo and I worked together to make this flower neon sign. We were gonna paint it, we didn't have time, but the outline was enough, and it still looked cool when it was all lit up. And then Giselle and I made this lantern, and yeah, it was really
Oh, nice.
cool. Paul to help
Oh.
me. And my favorite project this year was this jewelry box that Giselle and I made at the beginning of the year, and we made it by cutting all the wood and like measuring it and sanding it. We assembled it all together and then stained it, and it didn't like how it stained up, so we painted it, and then we added little details like the heart on top. And I liked it because it was my first time making something in art, and it was my first time making my own jewelry box. And I'd say how I've grown is in the beginning of the year, I only worked with people that I like already knew. So I really only talked to like 2 or 3 people in class, and I tried to avoid tools as much as possible. I don't like using tools. Like I feel like they can just go wrong any moment. And this is a picture at the beginning of the year when we started painting the walls. And compared to now, I started working on more projects. I do a lot of stuff just for my own. Like I crochet a lot in that class, and that's a picture of a bag I was making. I ended up not finishing it. I made a different bag instead. But, yeah. And next we'll go Spanish. So some Spanish takeaways from this year is that at the beginning of the semester, I was nervous to start a new language because I've never even really tried to learn Spanish like that. And I wasn't really motivated to try and learn. I heard from other like students that the class was kind of hard. But now that I'm in it, it's a pretty good class, and I like the difficulty of it. I feel like it's just like right, you know? And now I'm way better at reading and writing in Spanish, and I'm able to comprehend more complex sentences, and I'm more confident in speaking Spanish. Like, I still don't really like it too much because, you know, we have to like present in class sometimes. Like, it's all right, but I'm definitely better than I was before. And this is my first warm up from the class, and the first time I translated sentences from Spanish to English.
Oops, sorry.
And something else we also did in Spanish was we learned a lot about other cultures and Day of the Dead, and specifically we learned about the 3 P's of culture, which is products, practices, and perspectives. And we focused a lot on learning the way other cultures do things, and we made